Hey guys, welcome back. It's Timer Scam, episode 13, quarantine edition.
Episode 13. What was the joke you made while making
13
this?
quarantine.
Yeah, that's right. 13.
I mean,
Quarantine
hey,
episode 13, baby.
I don't know, man. This is weird. Oh,
Yeah.
hearing my own voice like this is really throwing me off. But now, right now, we're going through Zoom because Discord is notorious for butchering his audio. So to try and get as smooth a sound as possible, we're going through
Zoom instead.
yeah, Zoom, which has been not the best, but it's something
It's
better
the
than
best we got.
Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best we can
We,
do
we,
right
we, we
now.
can find we'll probably find something else. Maybe. If
Hopefully.
if there's if there's something else out there.
The other option would be to have you record on your side, similarly to
Mm,
what we did the
I
first
mean,
time.
you did have an option to say for Skype, and I was like, yo, who uses Skype anymore? I was like,
I don't know,
I
man.
mean, I wouldn't be so off-putting by it. I mean, if it worked, it works.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
No, it's fair. It's fair. But
Apologies for like the weeks beforehand this episode because
oh
honestly,
yeah,
it's been a shitstorm and just trying
oh
to
yeah,
adjust into like a quarantine schedule, quote
yeah.
unquote. Because everything in the beginning of or before quarantine was just trying to find out what's going on, like what are we supposed to do, and like what we're gonna do after that.
Mm-hmm.
This is already well enough into like quarantine where we're gonna be here for a while,
Mm-hmm.
so we had the bright idea to just like, all right, yeah, we can find a way to do this without trying to, fucking wake up next morning, be like, yeah, JK, you guys can go outside again, and then like try and reinvent the whole thing over again
Oh
for
yeah.
setup.
Oof. I mean,
And that transition alone later on will not be easy as well. So in
oh
the
true.
future when we can go outside again,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully not like, in the apocalyptic
Not the
event,
nuclear, not
not
the
the nuclear
Silent Hill
fallout.
apocalypse.
That's right. Yeah, hopefully it won't take as long as we did doing
Yeah.
this before.
I mean, what last episode was March 6th. 6th.
March 6th. So we're well
Yeah.
over like, I mean, it has been already 4 weeks
Yes,
since
it has
quarantine
been over a
and
month.
COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that has happened in a
Mm-hmm.
reasonable time frame.
And I believe we actually talked about how it was. Oh yeah, one of the topics
How
was
it could
like how it
affect us as
affects.
well.
Yeah, and now like I'm looking. What is it? I know Smash is having Xanadu actually is doing online stuff now, and I think they're still doing the fighting game Thursdays. I
Mm.
think Thursday. No, yeah, it's Thursdays because Tuesdays is
That's
Ultimate.
also a factor too, because like since everything's been changing, we don't really
Oh
know
yeah,
what's going on time to time in the, I was quote unquote, like the fighting game community,
yeah.
and like what's the happening and what's going on, because literally no one knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now everyone's starting to get like a good footing of what they're supposed to do, what they're
Yeah,
trying to get around with, with isolation like this.
yeah. And hey, I mean, online scenes popping off, dude. I don't know, man. Like what?
Online seems like it's popping off.
Yeah.
Netcode is definitely still an issue, in my opinion.
Mm,
You know.
I love being on Street Fighter Five,
Oh
playing
yeah.
five only, and
Oh,
getting a laggy Ken who decides to teleport Shoryu all over me.
maybe you're just playing Akuma, dude. Maybe you didn't know.
No, no.
But yeah, that's definitely a factor.
Yeah.
The
No,
But that's like, that's the only thing that really matters, in my opinion, is the being able to play.
yeah.
Definitely online. Before all this happened, in the weeks coming up towards today, like I have not been playing a lot of fighting games. I have my bouts here and there. I've
Ooh.
been deep.
That's exactly what I was about to ask too. I was gonna be like, so how have you been doing fighting games this quarantine?
um, not great in
Yeah.
terms of
Yeah.
like playing it and
Mm-hmm.
like, but I do like still watch and like on the side like interact with fighting games in a in a way
Yeah.
still like anything that's related. I'm like, okay, yeah,
Check it out. Daigo
check this
streaming them. Yeah.
video. Yeah, sees like combo videos from time to time,
Yeah.
some like in-depth analysis of fighting games or like different styles of play, or
Man, I
honestly
gotta
just an
start.
overview of like different seasons of SF5. I saw this video. um Ryu is actually really good this season, season 5. I think it's season 5.
Yeah.
He's actually
Yes, it is
extremely
season
good.
5.
um I haven't been playing it
Mm-hmm.
lately. We
Mm-hmm.
did try other games, and you've
Yes.
gotten, well, you can, you can say it.
Yeah. So I've been gathering fighting games from all over the place. And if you guys have any submissions or anything at Timer Scamcast on Twitter, hit us up with a DM or just tweet us. Anything of the sort. And drop a follow, get some updates and stuff, see what's going on. Uh, I usually go on there and I retweet some news here and there.
Hmm.
Um, Whatever I remember to, that is. But um, I've been just looking at a bunch of games. I have a huge list of games that we haven't tried yet that I've come in contact with, and I haven't tried them yet because I wanna experience the game. You know what I mean? Instead of
Yeah.
just playing arcade all the time, actually going in and fighting against somebody, learning here and there what it is. So we've got Dead or Alive 2, Dead or Alive 5, Melty Blood,
Oh
Aquapaza,
my
Aqua Plus,
god.
Dream Match. What's wrong?
Hey, wait. Are you doing alphabetical, or are you just doing on preference on DOA?
No, or it started off alphabetical, but then I
All
was
right,
like,
keep going, keep going.
but then I was like, oh, they're in different folders, and I don't want to deal with sorting this. So yeah, Dead or Alive 2 and Dead or Alive 5, Melty Blood, Aquapaza, Aqua Plus, Dream Match, Arcana Heart 2 and 3, Battle Fantasia,
I
Chaos
think
Code.
I
What's up?
know our Arcana Heart. Yeah,
You do? Oh, okay.
yeah. Arcana
Damon
Heart 3, Heart Max.
Love Max six
Yeah, this
star
fucking
six six.
absurd ass fucking title. It's great.
There's Damon Bride, Additional Gain, N Ions, Perfect Welt, Goketsuji, Ichizoku, Matsuri Senzo Kuyo, Nitro Plus Blasters, Persona 4 Arena, Psychic Force, which isn't really much of a fighting game. It's like a flying around, shooting at each other fighting game. So that'll be interesting. Vampire Savior, which is essentially Darkstalkers 2. Asuka 120%. Dragon Ball Fighters and Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah, we got a list, and we have all the time to fucking play those games.
Oh yeah,
And
if
like
you want to,
honestly, we could probably, up to you, Sebastian, to
what's up?
stream those,
I mean, I'd be down.
experimental matches and check out those fighting games.
Yeah,
What our
no,
thoughts
I'd be
about it.
100% down.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause I need to stream too, because this whole quarantine has my sleep schedule super messed
Yeah,
up.
I think I need to whip you in shape here to actually start streaming. I won't stream. I'm gonna whip your ass in
Make
shape
me
to
stream.
stream.
You should be streaming.
I shouldn't be streaming. You should be streaming.
I mean, you could stream too. You
No,
still
I'm the
have
sidelines.
a tiny audience.
I'm the cheerleader in the back, in front of the bleachers.
No. I mean, like what? My sleep schedule recently has been like right now. I still haven't gone to
Scoffed.
sleep from last.
I'm
from last
sure
night.
everybody's sleep schedule has been out of whack
True.
ever since this has been happening.
What?
Everyone's been sleeping in. I think that's what's really up to, man. Like sleeping in to the maximum is like sleeping at fucking like sleeping at like 10 a.m. and then waking up at 10 p.m. It's
Stop, that's
bad.
literally me. Leave me alone.
It's real bad.
I go to sleep at like 10. It's like 10 a.m.
Mhm.
and 2 p.m. Then I wake up at like 9 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's horrible. I think maybe like last Saturday, just the whole Saturday, just skipped.
Yeah.
Just I just
Or when we did
skipped
Left 4
time
Dead 2.
forward. Just fast traveled
Fast
on
travel.
I sat in my bed on Saturday. You know.
Yeah. Is the Skyrim wait function.
That's right.
No, like what? When did we play Left 4 Dead 2? We were literally from like 9
That was a
o'clock
couple
to
of nights
8
ago.
a.m.
Hey, it's a fun game, all right? It
It is a
deserves its
fun game, dude.
praise.
We
But
had some good
fuck, we were
mods.
fucked.
It was a
Yeah.
mess.
I wish you could see my side.
Man, well, maybe you should have streamed it like I
Yeah, I,
did.
mean, I don't know. I don't know. I was kind of sleepy.
I don't know. And that's been messing up me playing Street Fighter 2 because since I'm playing at night, there aren't as many players that I'm not able to get, and I have to like have this huge time in between when I play someone, and then I have a huge break, and I'm
The
like,
sun is just so
yeah,
bright.
yeah.
Also, sound warning.
What's up?
My father has come back from some errands. You know, my
Gotcha.
man's wearing a mask, dude. That's one thing that's been really. I've been getting a lot of mask ads on like social media
Oh
on
yeah,
everything. Actually,
everything I've
just
been
I
getting
just
mask
bought a
ads.
mask this morning. It's pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
cool, mask.
There was one that I saw where it was like customizable bead masks. I was like,
Those candy masks, yeah,
uh,
that won't do shit for you, but like, yeah, it's cool.
yeah, it looks
You can
good,
wear
but
that to shows and stuff,
you
no
can wear it
judge.
to your deathbed.
That's correct. Handmade,
Handmade, man.
people, touch those things.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm gonna have to get a new job either way because but hey,
Everybody that is essential is working their asses off. People that are not essential, they're also, you know, in a
yeah,
way working their asses off in the
yeah.
same sense.
Oh man, oh dude. Let me talk about this on podcast actually, because I'm still popping off. I was playing. I've ascended in my power at Street Fighter. I was online technically this morning since I haven't gone to sleep yet. Uh, what time did I send that music? Not the music that text at 1:55 a.m.
That's correct.
I got six. I was just playing casual because I didn't want to tank my rating. You know what I mean? No, not want to losing as much LP. But I played against six Kens in a row on casual. I Ken is probably one of the characters I have a lot of trouble with. Not the most trouble with, cause like I understand what Ken does. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
wake up DP, shoot Hadokens once they're outside of your range.
The
All that stuff.
ancestral flowchart of the ages will
Yes,
continue to live on forever.
the flowchart. So
That's correct.
for some reason, with his speed and like his just general damage output, I can't. I have so much trouble against that. But then, like the third Ken in, I started to get it. And I didn't lose to another Ken after that. It was amazing. I was like, all I
I
have to
saw, I
do is
saw.
just bait them into sure you just anti-air I don't know, cortical back kick or just cortical back punch EX. I'm like,
That's right.
easy.
I saw a meme. I saw a picture. I forgot to send it or share it on. It was on Twitter,
Yeah.
and it was like, it's fucking Scooby Doo and the gang, and they're like Ken mains, and then they take off the mask, and then it's like anime players. It's like, yeah, that's
You're
my
not
man. They
wrong.
they love pressing buttons, dude. My
Oh
man
yeah.
love pressing buttons. Dude. They're
Oh
pressing
yeah.
buttons every day.
Oh, and I sent you that picture yesterday of the actual anime fighter where it's actual anime characters. It's just
Yeah, it's dumb.
so
It's real
dumb, dude.
dumb.
I'll have to post it on
It's
Twitter.
great.
It's literally it's Kirito from Sword Art Online versus Kirino from Oremo.
Yeah, I
And the
stared at that picture
backdrop
for a
is
good like 5 minutes, and I was like, this is not real.
Green Hill Zone, dude. Like
That's honestly
this
more
is
of
a
a
fighting
Mugen
game.
fighter than any Mugen fighter.
Honestly, but the thing is that it's not. It's officially licensed. It's by Sega, dude. Like, come on, man.
Hey man, everyone's going through a tough time in quarantine. Even people and even like higher up people. Dude, let's just put that shit in there, dude. Whatever.
Uh,
People will fucking love that
that's
shit.
20. That's pure 2015 right there.
Oh, people are eating that up now as we speak.
Oh, dude. But the thing is that Kirino was demolishing me. Like, even I played as Kirino for my first like arcade playthrough or whatever, and I didn't have as much trouble. I think she's probably like a top tier or something because I swept the game with her. Once I switched to Kirito, everything was easy until I hit that roadblock.
Yeah, dude, because Kirito's the beater.
I know, but I couldn't beat this little girl, dude.
Dude, I hate the
I
terminology.
don't understand, dude. It's like when we you didn't feel this, but apparently early in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Charlotta, the
Yeah, the
halfling,
little girl.
yeah, don't put it that way, dude. But she was apparently like top tier. I think she still is like A tier, but before she was like buku good.
Yeah, because she's got a fucking demon flip.
I can never get over that. Every time I see it, makes me laugh, dude. And then if you do the EX variant, it has a low angle hop.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
That
That's
is
kind of
really
fucked
it's
up.
really
That's
messed
crazy.
up. Oh man. Oh, we played Grand Blue a couple days ago, by the way. Um, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I can see the how cool it is and
Mm.
like it's fun and all. I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me.
No, it's fair.
It's not. I don't think it's not for me because I think when it comes to like I don't know when it comes to fighting with like weapons, it damage scaling has to be
Yeah,
implemented in somewhat like some way
I feel
like
like
they
in
do in
the.
like in a Sam show
Hmm.
where like getting hit with a weapon is like hurts like 5 million times more than getting hit by like a
A
kick.
kick, yeah, which makes sense and it works well for that game.
I think that the damage scaling identically to like Soul Calibur would be perfect fine lining for that game.
Yeah,
Um, I would say like a little less. Maybe one or two moves could be scrubbed off. I am new to that cooldown feature of a move.
yeah,
I don't really understand the whole functionality
yeah. But I
of it.
kind of like how they did it though, where you can
It is
either
cool, the
yeah,
cooldown feature. Yeah,
where it's like you can either hit a button in just a direction, a la Smash Bros. For it. However, you have a longer cooldown, but if you do the command input, it shortens that cooldown. I don't know if it negates the cooldown because I think it still cools down, but it's
yeah. It's a lot of
marginally
properties I
quicker.
have no idea about.
Yeah.
You can
And
honestly like chain those like special moves together in
yeah.
like a string or maybe like a juggle combo if you really could.
Oh yeah. Um, Kind of like what you said with the damage scaling. I feel like the games end way fast.
Mm,
Like there isn't. I feel like there isn't enough health to warrant the damage output.
yeah,
Now I haven't played enough games to actually fully get a feel for that, but that's my like first impressions feeling of playing that
yeah.
game.
I do like the movement is okay,
Yeah,
but the dodge options make it more fluid.
yeah,
Like that spot dodging, I imagine when you're a very avid player, you do that very well,
Yeah,
and you know
actually
when to
timing it
use it
well.
most of the time, right? And like when, I mean, you can't just dodge for free too, so
Oh
there's
yeah.
that as well.
Or just rolling to approach. Like the one time you're just sitting there shooting fireballs at me, I'm just rolling forward
Yeah,
towards you. I don't know.
it kind of forces you to think of a better strategy, but it's also like if you're attacking or you're on the offensive side,
Yeah.
it gives you the tools to put more pressure. On the defending side, it gives you tools to get out of that pressure and to
Mhm.
um counter that
Yeah.
and just get
And
out of the corners and shit.
and then if in a situation with zoners, I don't know any of the zoners in that game, but like in any other game you're dealing with zoners, gives you more options to avoid essentially avoid that and just close that space.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, you can use it mobility wise as well.
Yeah. I kind of
I
like
like the art style. The art
Oh
style is
yeah, the
really
art is
cool.
really nice.
It's really nice. The character designs are, yeah, they're,
Some of them are great. Some of them are
yeah,
great.
a
Some of
little
them are
above
just
average.
some of them are just cute or not even cute, hot fucking
Anime.
anime guy, average in
Anime style
armor with a
anime game.
sword. Yeah, it's it's general stuff.
General anime
Yeah,
stuff, just a little more, I guess, medieval, or
yeah.
yeah, it's fantasy,
Like I
medieval
liked
fantasy,
Vasarada
sure.
and Ladiva. Those two were really nice designs,
Yeah,
really interesting designs. I especially liked how they did Ladiva's super, which the what is it? Super Skybound art is what it is when you have less than 30% and you have full meter.
mhm.
Like how they did the tap out thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that was pretty cool.
yeah,
I like those like cool supers and stuff like that.
yeah. I don't know. And then the others are just kind, and a lot of the others are just kind
There's
of
a lot of
standard.
personality though. I would say there's a lot of character in those characters. Like it's like
Yeah, yeah,
every character has like a different saying towards different characters. That's really cool.
yeah.
That's really nice compared to like some anime fighters where like they kind of say like the same
Come
line
at me.
the first two, yeah,
Yeah,
the first
the
two
general
first
anime
two to three
speak.
line, yeah, we get it.
Yeah, yeah. Like it gives them the interaction gives them more character, and I like that more personality, and you can understand them more. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I kind of like before Street Fighter Five had like a really like a story mode, quote unquote. I
Yeah.
kind of like the older games where you had to infer the story of who you're playing against and what
Hmm.
stage and stuff. So you it's kind of like that passive like that world building
Yeah.
type thing. So I like that. That was nice, especially in a game like that where it's like you actually don't know what's going on in that game because
Yeah.
there's so many like different areas. Also, I really like the stage transitions. That is
Mm-hmm.
pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, like the volcano one
I
where
don't
the
see
it
that a
just
lot.
drops and
Yeah,
it's just a oh, it's
it's
so
like a
sick.
fucking it's like a Tekken stage in 2D. It was sick.
Essentially.
I really like that.
Apparently, Guilty Gear Strive, the new Guilty Gear, is gonna
Uh
attempt doing that. I don't know. From what I saw, it looks like the areas are generally the same, but I don't know if that was like a beta thing or like a in development thing where they're gonna have different scenery and stuff.
yeah.
But if they do have different scenery, mwah.
Yeah, I like the dynamic camera
Yeah,
to go into a different stage. It's essentially the same stage, it just has different layers.
yeah,
But it doesn't have that like um those properties of like you need to know what moves do this to
mm-hmm.
get to the next stage. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to know about that.
Yeah,
It's just a little more flashier, but it's also gives a lot more content on like smaller stages if you have only like a couple stages, like 4 stages, but it has like different layers to it.
yeah.
That's actually
And
really nice.
there aren't a lot of stages in that game, but they're all like really nice.
They're very extensive,
Yeah.
right? I like that, especially in like Tekken. If you know do like I could imagine it right now. It's like a 2D like the temple stage where it has like 8 floors and shit.
Yeah.
The difference between that is like if you there's like a king combo where you can
Oh
combo
yeah.
through all the
On the
floors or
first level,
some
you
shit.
just.
Yeah, it's fucking
Oh
nutty.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think
And
DOA
the thing
does
with
that pretty
like
good.
oh yeah, DOA does that. It has
Yeah.
stage
That's
transitions
really nice.
like ring outs.
Yeah. Like
But it's not really like a ring out. It's more or less you kick this guy off the building. Now you
yeah.
guys end up fighting on the ground or whatever.
Yeah, which is interesting because like you're actually fighting in that area and it shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
the
that one
damage
pagoda.
is a little optional
Yeah,
in my opinion, but I do like it in like Street Fighter Five. You know, that's pretty cool. I like that about Street Fighter Five. They've
yeah,
done that just a little bit, not like a whole transition. Like it's
hmm
more or less like an extension of the stage itself.
yeah.
Like it keeps going a little more.
And sometimes how like things that you do, like say you do like you're kind of like Suzuka Castle. I feel like started that out from old Street Fighter Two.
Yeah.
Where those like boards on the side, so like if you did a heavy attack near those boards, the boards would break
Or
or
you
something
throw.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you throw someone. And similarly now, I think on the Shadaloo Air Force Base, if you're on the right side and you do like a heavy attack or whatever, there's a rocket that'll shoot up and all that stuff. And I mean, it's
It's the
interesting.
little things. It's the little
Yeah.
things.
And I feel like it doesn't like, as long as it doesn't like take too much out of your focus, you know what I mean? Like with stage transitions, it's in between a fight, not particularly like while
Right.
you're fighting. But with stuff like that, as long as it's not as flashy or something, like if you, I don't know, crouching heavy kick someone in a certain particular spot of the stage, and then this
Mm.
whole light work show or fireworks show happens in the
If
background,
it's not
stuff like
affecting
that.
you like negatively, in
Yeah.
my opinion, then
Well.
it's fine.
Yeah. If it's not affecting your focus anyway, I feel like it's fine.
Because like I saw when we were playing, like you can just mash through the cutscene or whatever it does,
Yeah.
and it goes into like next round. So like if you accidentally mash through the next cutscene, you won't just like start like
Mm-hmm.
jabbing in the air for no reason.
Yeah. Which is nice. Like I think my favorite one from no, actually, you know what? A game that I would think would really work nicely with stage transitions.
Well,
Blaze Blue.
Ways Blue,
Yes. Some of the
yeah.
moves and how they work, like Susanoo's half circle forward, C, where he drags you towards the wall. Imagine it just break through the wall, push you through, whatever. Oh my
Yeah, you
god,
end
it's
the
so good.
round and you go through another like
Yeah.
it's part of that stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's just busted through the wall.
Mm-hmm. Or you
That's
just broke
pretty
it to the
cool.
ground. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know.
I want to
Yeah.
see more games do that.
Yeah. Dude, Eunice. Eunice. Not even Eunice anymore. Uniclear.
Yeah.
I want to play that game so bad. I
Thought you
now.
I thought you worked to try and hold on, there's a fucking copter.
Oh
Like on my
yeah, I heard
guy.
that. That helicopter at the same time. Um.
It's a okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I did manage to get my hands on a copy
No? Alright.
of Eunice, not Uniclear. I don't know how that worked out, but I mean that's good
Mm.
enough at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I feel
sure.
like since Uniclear is an update to Eunice, not particularly like a whole new game. I feel like there aren't too many like major changes. So like major changes mechanically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like it'll translate pretty well to when I actually get my hands on Uniclear, and
Yeah.
we can play Eunice whenever I do have it on my computer now.
Okay. My friend texted me last night, actually like an hour or so after I passed out at like 7. He's like, it's happening. And it's like a picture of him and fucking Tekken 7 is downloading on his Xbox. So I was like, oh my god, is this what it's coming up to? I've been having that need lately to just play new games during this quarantine because
Yeah.
wow, I blow through like every game like it's butter, dude.
Yeah, I
Like,
feel you. I feel you.
holy shit.
Oh, the only thing is that during this quarantine, I've pretty much only been playing fighting games and Animal Crossing
That's a good
exclusively.
mix. That's a good mix. That's a good cocktail.
But like the thing is that I wanna like Yakuza. I wanna get through that. I wanna finish that. I have so
Oh
many
yeah.
games on my computer that I haven't even touched. What CS:GO? I barely played any Destiny. Dust and Legion. Well, I beat that a long time ago. Never mind. Final Fantasy 15. Slain back. I have so much on my computer right now. You've seen my desktop. It's like a huge thing of icons.
Mm.
But all I've been doing is playing fighting
Yeah, if I had
games.
your computer, I'd probably like be going to town on like every single game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I sort of had the idea of getting another computer, a good computer that I could set up as sort of just a parsec machine that either of us can access and play fighting games or
This is
whatever.
the first I've ever heard of it.
Oh yeah.
I
Cause
don't know
like
about
it'd be interesting. I mean, it'd make streaming a little easier. Cause then instead of both
that.
streaming,
It takes stress
recording,
off like one computer.
yeah, instead of running the game, running Parsec or hosting Parsec and streaming at the same time, I can just worry about client being a client through Parsec and streaming the game and just have something else take the load off of all the other stuff.
That sounds like an easier time for me if I, you
Yeah.
know,
But even my computer could handle it,
if
which
I
is the
want
good
to,
thing.
if I want to fucking nah.
What? I don't know. Do you want to stream again?
I
Lord Joshua, Lord
don't
underscore
know.
Joshua on Twitch.
I
Go follow him.
really this year I really want to focus on my studies and stuff.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
But ever since it's been happening, it's been like a fucking everything has just been like crawling back. Like you gotta play games again. Like fuck. Yeah.
Stream your studies, babe.
And class, honestly, I do have class,
Yeah.
and it has been a fucking travesty of a situation where everyone's just like trying to get information, what's going on,
Yeah.
and now it's just like we Zoom and Zoom and chill. The information has been kind of lackluster. Nothing's
Yeah.
really, I'm not really engaged in class. I kind of just write down like the most important thing of that class today.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I haven't said this in streaming or anything, but like, I legit posted a picture in our group chat, and I was like, all right, I'm about to start my. I'm in class right now, boys. I have, I have the Zoom in the background, learning trig, and then like I got my fucking fight stick playing Blaze Blue like right on top of it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm learning with triangles right now in fighting games,
Dude,
dude.
you said you're fighting.
Yo, I was like,
Footsies is
if
just
I
math,
triangulate this fireball to hit here,
dude. No,
yeah, I could go for a DP right after.
You
that.
don't understand. Footsies is math. You're good. You're golden, dude.
I don't like honestly. Like earlier this semester, I was kind of worried about school being a thing, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Trig's nothing
paying
to
for this
fucking
the whole
laugh
last
at.
college class and
Yeah, I gotta go to this. I have to go to this class now. It's just like wake up, hey, you got class tomorrow. Oh, bet, cool. Not even like an hour
practice
of
my
class.
Azrael combos.
And then I just go, I just press buttons in the background. And the thing is, like, you can do whatever the hell you want on like online classroom. You don't have to say a damn word.
Yeah. You can do whatever
You
you
can
want.
mute your mic and just be like, yeah, just fucking like, it's like, ooh, that combo, just pop off in the background. And no one will know. No one will know the better. It's like if I actually brought my fighting, like my whole setup, and brought it to class. I wish
dude,
I
I used to do that.
I'd be more engaged in what I'm learning because then I could apply it to fighting games.
Yeah.
Than if I just didn't do it.
No, I mean,
I don't have to worry about like being late to class because I have
Yeah.
to consider traffic and shit. I could just wake up, and depending on what time I wake up, I was like, well, all right, just joining class like two
Yeah.
minutes late. It doesn't make a fucking difference.
No, and even better if they don't make you use your camera. Oh,
Yeah, dude. Everyone is very very sympathetic,
yeah.
especially when it comes to technology nowadays. Now, because like I got a like letter or like survey
Mhm.
from my campus was like, hey, do you have a computer at home? And I was like, yeah. I was like, uh, if you did not have a computer at home, would you be willing to go to campus and use computer there? And they are giving those options out, which is like really nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking, like, dude, does that mean like I can play fighting games at school now? So,
Dude, no.
you can't do that.
If anything, I would be the guy in class who like, all right, let's all boot up tabletop sim and
Hmm.
let's just play poker while the teacher's going on, dude.
It has become, a very serious thing,
Oh yeah.
and that a lot more things are being. I see this as negative as it is. I see the positive as a lot more things being more online and technological now.
Yeah.
This
And
is
now we're
definitely a
being
big
forced to
boost.
advance.
Yeah, this is a big boost in like focus on like online classrooms, even VR, maybe. I saw
Set
people
an
are using
Oculus to
Minecraft or some
everyone's.
shit,
Oh
to
yeah.
graduate. Oh, dude, people are graduating this year. I am so sorry.
Oh
It
yeah. Oh
sucks.
no, that like super sucks. I
It's
don't
not
know.
great.
It's I don't know, man. Well, at least a lot of them don't have to like retake that year. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Because
you know.
oh, if oh lord, if I was graduating that year, and my school said, "Sorry, I know we cut you halfway through, and you've been doing online classes and everything, but you still
I
gotta get
would.
the other credit." Oh,
Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed.
oh,
I would break my stick, maybe throw
I
my
could,
stick.
I
It
could
would pop
never.
off.
Man, speaking of actually playing BlazBlue during class, you've dropped. Well, I wouldn't say dropped. I don't know if you've dropped
You
S.
saying dropped in quality? What's up, huh?
Well, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. But you've been playing Azrael recently rather than
I
S.
have I have picked up Azrael. Hmm.
Have you?
Yeah,
How have you been feeling on him better or over S? You know what I mean?
I was looking for like another character and just another way to adapt to the game
Yeah.
because watching you play and then like watching when we went to round one
Oh yeah.
and
Watching
I'm
me
like
get my ass
holy
beat.
shit, like I cannot play a consistent I wouldn't say fireball game, just my own style of play in that game per
Mm-hmm.
se. I have to. That's the thing with like different games. You gotta play differently in different games. You
Yeah.
can't be really, you can stick to your guns whenever you want. That sure, it
Mm-hmm.
works to a degree, but when different games have different mechanics and that just blows through your whole like system of play, you gotta adapt.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't adapt, you will fucking drown in pools.
Oh
like
yeah. No,
so,
you'll drown before you even enter the venue, dude.
that's right. And so I was like, this is more or less my Ezreal is more or less an answer to another style of play. I can move around in. I can
Yeah.
potentially play as
Yeah.
instead of playing a very I'd say I want to say like a more balanced game when I play S
Mm-hmm.
versus a more uh very aggressive type of play with Azriel because that's how his character plays and that's his his top things are or his that's his best qualities
Yeah.
as the character and like that kind of forces me to play more aggressively than I would because honestly when I play fighting games in general I have a good mix. I'm not very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to back me up on that.
No, I mean, you definitely don't play as aggressive, especially like comparatively to me.
Yeah.
You play like an aggressive rock, if you know what I mean. Like when
Mm,
it comes to
okay.
punishing and dealing with people on you and getting people off you, you become aggressive. However, any other time you're just kind of there and you're you're more reserved, I feel like.
Yeah, and so that works to a degree that shines in other games. You
Yeah.
know, in some games that I play, that works. In in Blaze Blue, that doesn't really work out for me as much.
Yeah. Especially with how much more fast paced it is
Right,
comparatively.
right. Because this is essentially like the first anime game I've ever played in my fucking life, and just playing that level aggro with everybody else trying to get in,
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult. And I'm like, oh well, I gotta adapt some way. So Azrael was
Mm-hmm.
that choice. I picked a couple other characters. I was thinking about Ragnar, but I was like, if his projectiles aren't good, then why the fuck would I? I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta have a good. I don't like those characters that have like a very lackluster like style to them. It's more like if you either have that style or you don't. You can't
Yeah.
just not have
Yeah. I've been in a similar boat where to understand games more, like you seen me playing a lot of Melty Blood, is
it.
I
Yeah.
literally have been playing and learning every character uh and to understand like getting matchups, because then I'm like, oh, say in Blaze Blue, like I kind of sort of know a little bit of S, and I'm like, okay, I know that she can do this to this to this to this. How can and I know that when I play Susanoo, my main, I know that okay, this outframes this, so maybe I could use this, or this is an option I can use to punish.
Mm.
And in a way, like, and I like to utilize the recording function on my fighting games, which is really nice, by the way. Especially when you don't have anybody else that you can, practice with or whatever.
Right.
But I'll sit there and I'll be like, all right, I know S has this get up option, uh, or this wake up option. So I'm like, okay, let me do this wake up option. And then I'm like, okay, now let me just beat that to death and find every which way around it. And then I'll go back, record whatever I did as Susanoo, and then be like, okay, as S, what can I do to get around him? You know,
Right.
messing with my wake up. So that's kind of how I practice and stuff. Trying to
But you
get used
see
to stuff.
like when I play as Azrael,
Yeah.
you can still see like aspects of my play style
Oh yeah.
bleeding through through the character.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't say that kind of hurts me, but it kind of hinders me in a way that I was like, oh shit, I can't just like sit here. I gotta do something.
Yeah.
But it's more or less. I thought beyond that. And I was like, well, my thought process was like, okay, my sit like this has worked to a point, but now
Mhm.
I gotta move. Moving at a wrong time though is now a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So dashing in and out is like, all right, what I want to happen, or I want a reaction, what I need to with punish off, or see, or you get a desired reaction. I have to guesstimate like what my options are
Yeah.
in that situation. That kind of makes no sense, but like
No,
I'm
no,
trying to
it
say, like
does. It's
I'm
like,
just gauging like how much I can move because I just sit so much.
mhm.
It's like, all right, maybe I can move now and do this move and see
Yeah.
like what startup it has. Maybe I can, move a little bit and
Yeah.
then do it, or move a little more and then use the move. Because just like frame calculating and like the
Mhm.
spacing.
Is it kind of like you're here's my like take on what you're saying is I think it's like you're trying to make your place or play your style in a way that fits the game.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm trying to adjust it to the game's pacing,
Yeah,
but in my own way.
yeah, which is pretty fun. Cause, and then there comes the archetypic characters. Cause then like, sure, I like rushdown characters, but if a rushdown character, if like one of the few say there's like, oh, there's one of each character archetype, if there's only one rushdown character, then I'm stuck. Cause I'm like,
With that
yeah,
certain character, and you can't really get around that
yeah,
other than trying to force yourself to play as
yeah.
that the desired archetype.
Yeah, and then if it doesn't have options that I like, and then I'm just kind of stuck, and I'm like, shit, what do I do?
The more
Like,
like I like playing Azure because it kind of makes me. It's kind of reminiscent of how I used to play a lot of Makoto
mm-hmm,
in SF4, and like what I liked about her was her her she was slow,
mm-hmm,
and I honestly I'm okay with slow. You know how
yeah,
I like slow. It's fun, but the possibility to move fast was something that I liked.
yeah,
It's like I can choose to be slow and steady,
mm-hmm,
but then in an instant I can choose to be fast as fuck.
yeah,
Like I could dash up with Makoto. Her dashes are fucking amazing.
oh yeah, just
Angela's dashes also amazing. Forward
literally a
dash,
quarter of the way the
just
screen,
go
screen,
through your opponent. Just you. That's the option. Like I like that. I would say that's like a very desired archetype of what I
yeah,
like. A more offensive character. Street Fighter Five doesn't really have that type of character for me per se.
yeah,
I haven't found a really good character like that in five.
yeah,
Um, but I do like Sagat. You know,
mm-hmm,
he has a lot more medium range or a little longer range, so
yeah,
that kind of helps me out in like just staying on my feet
yeah. When
and
I
just being like a
literally
rock.
brush you with my whole foot with my standing medium kick, and I get well, what is the one that you just huge hulking leg just comes out?
Oh, just his hard kick.
Exactly, his hard kick, and I'm just
Well, I mean,
like,
most of his, I mean, for Sagai, you press a lot of fucking kicks.
yeah,
You know,
dude, that actually now makes me think about it. I had this thought a while ago, but what if there was a character like Bison or Boxer who is all kicks instead?
mm,
That would be interesting.
yeah,
I mean, I don't see how they could make a move set out of that because I feel like a lot of kicks are like aren't gonna link properly together. They aren't gonna make sense with a stance
yeah.
or all that kind of stuff. Where
Well, I
it
mean,
has to make
like,
sense physically. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I mean, Jury is kind of like that. Street Fighter Four. I think.
Jury is like that.
Yeah, I think isn't her hard punch a kick? I don't
Yes,
remember.
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, because I was playing
Yeah,
Street Fighter Four a bit ago.
it's like a scorpion kick or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
So I mean, kind of sort of have that, but she still has light punch and medium punch.
Right.
But
But here's a dealio, right? Like,
yeah,
okay, I was wrong in Street Fighter 4. There is other in Street Fighter 5. There is a character that has that type of that type of setting or pacing, and you just said it is Bison. Now, Bison has he is slow. His dashes are great.
yeah,
The only thing is that I think it's his inputs, and I think it's the way he kind of like attacks is not my cup of tea.
hmm,
When I attack, I want it to be like very hard and fast and very consistent. But with Bison, it's more or less like his attacks feel slow. I don't want his attacks to feel slow.
yeah,
I want my attacks to be fast.
yeah. When you say Bison, you mean Dictator, right?
Yeah, Dictator.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, no, that's
And
fair.
Dictator has fucking like I think and it's the charge moves that really hinder him to my type of style play and archetype.
Hmm.
If Azrael had charge moves, I I don't know. I don't know if I'd like that.
Yeah,
Because then I had to think about charging and dashing, and that's like a move plus mobility, and that kind of like takes too much on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fill that plate up like, I can't have my plate full in like a session,
Yeah.
like fighting. Like I gotta be always thinking. I can't just pile
Yeah.
it on too much though.
Yeah.
So having a charge move in between all that to do a move like that,
Yeah.
especially when you dash up as dictator and you like try to incorporate the scissor kick, you have to wait the whole 2 seconds,
Yeah.
then you do the scissor kick. And I don't know, that's maybe I'm just complaining that it's, you know charge style moves on
Yeah.
very rush style characters is really hard to like play.
Too much for your brain.
Yeah,
It's kind of
it's a
like
lot.
when
It's
you're,
hard to juggle.
yeah, when you're like playing Guile or whatever, you can focus entirely on your charges and your times. But when you're playing a rushdown character, you're thinking of stuffing options, uh, punishing stuff, etc., frame traps and all the like, and you're like,
Mm,
and then to stuff the making sure you know the time your charge moves in there for the general person or for like the average player or a little bit above average player, it's a little much unless you practice it.
yeah, and that's like, my. It's just, again, this is like my type of a
Yeah.
desired character. Maybe I have to play a bit more, fighting games and anime character, anime games and anime
Games.
characters
I mean,
to,
it's
find that type of character. And like, I'm not saying Grand Blue
yeah,
is a bad game. It's a good game, very stylized. Obviously has a lot of work and there's like a lot of love being put into it. And new characters are coming out. So, back and forth, just check in to
mm-hmm.
see if there's a good character that I like in that game that has what, I kind of want
Yeah,
or has different options that I can go into. And for right now, there's not really a character that really makes me play my best
yeah,
per se. So in the time being, I'm also like, check out different characters like in Tekken. It's hard for me to find that type of character in 3D fighters like in DOA
mm-hmm.
than in like Tekken, because movement is such a critical thing that it more or less has to stay consistent, and you can't really have characters that have that insane mobility or else they'll be so fucking OP, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like another thing is like another factor is kind of like your ability to separate fighting games. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, you can. So like, say you play Karin Kanzuki
Right.
in Street Fighter Five, and then you go to a different game and you play a whole other archetype of character. We'll say a grappler or whatever.
Sure.
And a lot of times, like I notice that sometimes, like when I started out Blaze Blue, especially, or when we started playing Blaze Blue for the first few times, I noticed that I do a lot of my Karen stuff in that game, and I'm like, I can't be doing that, you know. So I feel like having your, like what you said with your style, is that you got to be able to separate the games. You know what I mean? Like you have to be like, okay, this is that style. It's harder
Mm.
for a lot of people to go into like different styles because when you're sitting there with stick in hand, it's not like you're holding a whole different stick or whatever. You're holding the same stick you always use.
Yeah.
So you go into what your essentially your muscle memory is.
And that's
And
kind of hard to, differentiate. I understand what you're saying.
yeah,
Like the way I play Street Fighter 5 compared to the way I play like anime games is completely different.
yeah,
I can't and I you can't be stuck in that mindset.
yeah. I mean, like, of course, yeah. With a bunch of practice, you can certainly do it or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, starting out at least, just
And
playing
I
the
think
game
it's
for a
also
couple
like
lessons.
it's like a way to understand the game's mechanics, and it makes you explore different ways of comboing,
Yeah.
spacing, and all those all that is what the game has to offer. And it's finding that characters uh more or less trying to find the job to do it,
Mm.
and like what tool you need for that preferred job.
Yeah, understanding your tools and all that good stuff.
The game is the basis of the game has the base, and the characters are just the tools.
Mm-hmm.
And like you have to get past the your opponent using what you can
Yeah,
of
you
that
have to be
tool.
able to understand your tools against other tools, essentially.
Yeah. So if you want like a really like spacing character, like holy shit, I didn't really get into spacing until like I got my ass beat like a lot. You don't really
Yeah, you don't think
that's
about
one you
that.
don't really think about it when you first play fighting games, because you kind of just want to win, kind
Yeah,
of just want to beat their ass.
yeah.
But it's so much more than that, because it's so detailed. You kind of don't see it right away. You only
Mm-hmm.
see it after the fact.
I feel. Well,
That's why I love. Let's talk about Do we have time to talk about another thing real quick?
yeah, sure.
Dude, let's talk about training stages in fighting games, and what training stages are really fucking good. Because honestly, I think
You know, I'm a training stage warrior, dude.
four has one of the best fighting, like
Street Fighter
one of the
4?
best. Street Fighter 4 has one of the best training stages in my opinion.
Now, what are your criteria, though?
Um, Dependent on what it is, I like the boxes. Boxes will always be there, and grids.
Yeah,
Grids are the fucking shit. But it has to pop out. It
yeah.
cannot be some fucking glowy ass like
Not
color
Street
that
Fighter
just like
5 training stage.
oh, listen.
what? What?
No, I mean here's the thing, like Blaze Blues training stage. What do you think about that?
I like it, but
You
I
like
wouldn't
it?
play it over other stages.
Right. Yeah. Here's the thing, like, dude, I don't prefer Blaze Blues fucking training stage.
No, actually no. I completely understand you because
The
when I play Street
flare
Fighter 4,
is very confusing.
yeah, when
The
I
style, I'm
play,
like, dude, is that a box or is that a fucking rectangle? What the heck?
is
It's
it a
got like
box?
it's got spiky
Diamond?
edges. Like, I'm like,
I don't know. It's weird.
how am I supposed to, eye that out? You're supposed to
Mm.
make it easy on the eyes to understand the spacing, because
Yeah,
you're not gonna, take your fucking face and get right next to the screen and measure out with a ruler. Like, yeah, this is only a couple boxes, but you gotta look at it from like casually.
yeah. No, like I understand now what you mean by Street Fighter 4 having the best, and by extension Tatsunoko versus Capcom, because I believe that
Oh
is the
yeah.
same training stage. But like when I go to play a stage, that's like my preferred stage for that game. Like there isn't any other stage in that game that I'm like, let me play on that. No. With Street Fighter 4, I'm like, hit me with that training stage.
Mm.
But other games, I'm like, there isn't a good enough training stage for this, or there's like another stage that's just better. But if I
Mm.
had to like go to a stage, I'm like, Street Fighter 4 training stage, hit me.
And the thing to help you or help others or help you guys essentially to be more proactive in spacing and all that is just find a fixture on the map that you like and gauge distance on what move goes past it or before it.
Oh,
And that's
true.
all you need, honestly.
Using
Put the opponent like a little bit, you can put the opponent on the point, the
yeah,
center of mass, or after it, and you just you inch your stick just a little bit, and then you hit the move, and it's like, well, my crouching medium kick goes a little more, how about this? And then you fixate on that point, and every time you're in a situation where you see that, in the exact same situation, which honestly happens a lot more than you'll think of.
Yeah.
Then you have that muscle memory that you've been incorporating, and it just comes out. Boom, you stuff that fucking move. Then you record that situation, and then you extrapolate like different options of what happens in that situation.
God, I never actually thought about that. Like, I've never thought about using the stage like that.
No,
That's
yeah,
a
that's like that's how I would think you would use it because there's not a lot of good tutorials on how to use the training stage.
yeah. Well,
Like
actually,
not one. I've never seen one in a fighting game. It's more or less it's there to practice your moves and
yeah,
whatever.
without any
It
other
doesn't have like a
things.
shitty, sound background music in the back so you can chill in here.
No
Like
waterfall in the Ryu stage,
that's
lagging the
right.
shit out of your
yeah,
game.
yeah. It's not fucking up your game. This is where you play. This is where you practice.
Now that I think about it, I think Smash has the best. Smash Ultimate specifically has the best training stage utility wise.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
All
they're
right.
actually like numbers and stuff. And I mean, like the training mode also is really good in that game. Um, well,
And
not
I can
really good
imagine that's
because there's
really
no
helpful
recording
because
options.
it's like, say you can correct me if I'm wrong in any of these technical terms. If you are close to the edge, but you are not at the point where your character will just fall off, it's
Mm-hmm.
more or less like it's this in games. It happens a lot in these platform type games
Mm-hmm.
where if you're engaging in combat on the ledge, you will not fall off unless you're being taken off your feet. So, like
Yeah.
in Bleeding Edge or in what I've been playing, Code Vein, there are ledges in that game where if you just start attacking and you can move while you're attacking, if you move close to the edge, there is like a soft invisible wall that
Mm-hmm.
stops you from falling off. But if you dodge in that direction, you'll just like eat shit forever.
Mm-hmm. I believe how it works is that as long as you're on the ground, you will not go off the ledge.
Yeah, because sometimes it'll happen where I see it when I've played Smash. It was
Mm-hmm.
like if I get knocked down close to the edge and I roll towards the edge, I don't particularly go off the edge. I kind of just
Yeah.
roll in like the invisible wall space there.
And like
That's kind of tricky.
there's this thing in Melee called Tekken, where it's essentially
What the fuck is that? Yo, I've never heard that in my entire life.
it's kind of like using your knockback. So in Smash, I don't know if it's in all the games. I think it's in all the games. There is this thing called directional influence, where you can sort of influence the way that your knockback is going, essentially.
Hmm.
Not by a lot, of course, but just little things, adjusting yourself in the air, essentially, or adjusting your knockback angle, etc. So say I hit you straight up really hard. Instead of going straight up, if you hold left per se, you'll angle a little bit to the left, or if you go right, you'll angle a little bit to the right, etc., so on and so
Okay.
forth.
Yeah.
Um, so if you have a low angled a move that goes horizontally, low angle, and you di sort of into the ground, and you tech during that time, usually you'll like slide a lot. And a lot of times when you do that, you don't slip off the edge unless. I know that there's like a hard in Melee. I don't know if this is the rest of the games. There's like a hard cap on how fast you could be going off a ledge or whatever. Because I know there's like and there's certain states, of course, that are like, so say you're wave dash and you can wave dash off it's all this
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not a
Yeah.
Melee expert. I don't know everything about it. I don't know everything
No,
about the
because
ledge,
I've
but
seen
it's just
it.
from what I
I've seen it.
see.
Like when
Yeah.
you go off the ledge, it's more or less you can influence the way you go, and if you go directly down, you obviously fall down
Yeah, you hit the
faster.
ground. You just tech off of
Yeah.
that, but you still have a little bit of momentum, so you still move. And a lot of
Okay.
times when you Omsa tech, you'll just get, and you're like not going as fast, but you're still caught by the ledge. A lot of times you will not fall off of the edge. You'll just slide into the edge.
Okay.
From
Okay.
what
Okay.
I've seen, at least. So there is that. The ledge is. There are a bunch of properties that I don't know. Since I don't play melee, I only play Project M and Ultimate.
Okay.
Um,
But no, like that's more or less like how a training mode should be used. Now, obviously, this is well, my sense of what how you should be using a training mode. Obviously, you can use training mode however you would like,
yeah.
but that has come more logically to me
Hmm.
than anything because if my character is in a particular position, I will remember like, okay, in this spot that I fixated on this point, I can do a couple of things that if he's over there, I can do these moves and it will not be stuffed
Hmm.
because you know the range.
And that's kind of one of the things I like about this Smash training stage. There are actually numbered units on the background, which is really nice. And then they're all lined and it's all a grid. I don't know the exact measurement of the units, but like if you generalize it in your head, you're just kind of like, okay, this is a unit or whatever. So you
Right.
can see, and also in the training mode, you have the option of turning on knockback lines. So it'll show you the knockback for like I think 25 or no, it's 0, 50, and 100. Um,
Yeah.
Without DI, of course, because there's no way for you to, or not as far as I know, there's no way for you to calculate that at a moment's notice, like the training stage does. So you can be like, okay, um, I do my forward smash. It goes this many units, and you can kind of sort of use that to
Hmm.
visualize like, okay, from here, if I do this, it's gonna whiff, or if I do it from here, it can whiff, but it can still hit their shield, and so on and so forth. Or for like seeing how far your recovery goes, that's also a thing. Um, See how far a move goes, stuff like that. Like I said before, see how far like your general knockback will be from certain, you know, percentages and all that.
And like what I love is the giant fucking line in the middle
Oh yeah,
in Street Fighter
yeah,
training stage. That giant fucking line in the middle is the best. It's the best. It's your best friend. You
yeah.
put the tiptoe of the opponent character, and then you find out that you can, FADC with this much range on a dog. The possibilities are limitless when you know ranges.
Hmm.
And I don't think I've ever seen a training mode type stage in like Tekken, really, because every stage is
Oh yeah, I
different,
know you're right.
and that would
Cause
require a lot more different stages to go through.
yeah, even like the actual cube stage or whatever, and Infinite Azure, they aren't really training stage. They aren't like. I mean, they're quote unquote training stages for like,
It's
you know.
forcing you in that game to get a combo off a or an extended combo. Like it's supposed to help you what's the word, like wall carry,
Yeah.
getting a max combo solo without walls. So if you're on the other side of like a rectangle
Hmm.
and there's no walls behind the opponent, that's supposed to make you,
Yeah.
practice that type of situation because more or less that will happen.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, and like Infinite Azure, it's just good for like practicing combos without having to reset the stage every time, because you could
Right.
just keep going.
Yeah, like I don't know, like the thing with like anime fighting games within their training stages, like dog, like what's up with the diagonals, the triangles in the back, like dog, what the fuck? Why do I need to care about that? Why?
Yeah,
Maybe
and
I just couldn't have found like another utility, a use for the fucking triangle in the background.
I don't know if you could,
Maybe
honestly. Like squares are so much better for exact unit
unit.
measurements.
Yeah,
That it's just kind of better.
I like it that if you do reach the top of the stage in Street Fighter 4, there is a small line of where like the soft ceiling, quote unquote, would be.
Yeah.
That's really nice. It's a nice touch, I think.
Oh yeah, and training stages haven't even been that much of a big thing for like as long.
Yeah.
Because you can't really do train. I mean, some games now have like training mode in arcades. I know Arcana Heart 3, Love Max 6 stars, 3 exclamation
Yeah,
points.
That's right.
Has,
That's the one.
has like you could just hold C and then hit start for training mode, etc. And there isn't really a training stage; it just drops you on a random stage. Um, it didn't really training stages didn't really start until like essentially console specific games started,
Mm.
kind of,
I
or
think
like
what.
console based games.
Yeah.
Like Street Fighter 4 was his first Street Fighter with a training stage. I think Blaze Blue Central Fiction is the first. No, the
MK.
one before that. Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat 2. That's another
NRS
one.
games.
Mm. Yeah,
But I think the
once
next
consoles
step.
started becoming bigger, that's when training stuff started,
Yeah.
coming into play.
In my opinion, I think the next step to go beyond the fight, like the training stage, is yes, you can stop the training stage just for purposes, but
Yeah.
also have the option in training mode to have a grid overlay
Oh
of
yeah,
the stage. Just
that'd be
a
nice.
general grid overlay. It doesn't have to be fancy or whatever. It could be whatever color it is that pleases your eye so that you can see those lines better.
Oh, and another thing, seeing hitboxes and hurt boxes, it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
A slow motion would be really good too.
oh, slow.
'cause
I always look for slow
fuck,
mo in
dude,
my
like,
games.
yo, Street Fighter, does Street Fighter 5 training does not they don't have a
Nope,
slow
they
mo,
don't
right?
have slow mo.
So you only see it for a fraction of a second
Yeah.
or a couple seconds, and then that's it. You gotta look it up on like fucking
Ow.
event hubs
And
be
even
like,
another
oh
thing
yes,
too,
of course, this is the Hort box, and like what the fuck? How you can't see that?
yeah, and another thing too, or you can't even feel that too.
Mm.
But another thing is like with hold on, what was I about to say? I totally forgot what I was about to say. With
Gather your thoughts.
oh yeah, Street Fighter 5 and the frame information that comes up, like
Yeah.
when you do a move and the number counts down so fast you can't see it, I'm like, I want to know how fast this move comes out. I don't want to sit there trying to spot the number.
Like why do I have to estimate the fucking number that is on the screen that is obviously there for me to read? Why
Like,
can't I just see the solid number?
It stops for advantage on hit and block and on whiff and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I would like to know the
answered.
frame data of the move itself, not just not. I want to know the FAF, first active frame. I want to know how long. Well, I mean, it does show how long it takes to go out, but I want to know how long it takes to start up. I want to know the start frame. You know what I mean? I want to know more
that
than
has
just
to be implemented.
the advantage and disadvantage.
That has to be taken advantage of, because these people that are doing these mods and overlays in the game or they already think about that.
Right?
They made the mod because like the game is lacking that.
Yeah, and was it Tekken's Tekken 7's frame data display a mod at first?
Or it was a mod
for that
and then
they made you pay for it.
Yeah, it was a mod, and then people were like, "Dude, put that shit in the game, dude, because people need that shit."
Yeah,
and then people are like, "Okay, yeah, sure, all right, fine, okay."
I would love to have frame data readily accessible from when the game drops. Honestly,
yeah,
that would be really nice. I don't want to sit there counting frames for like hours on end. I would You know that frame book I have? The entire Pichu section I had to write out and frame out myself.
Dude, I don't want to ask other people what frame data is because I sound like a stupid idiot. Like, if I want to know, the game will give me the tools to understand
Yeah.
the frame data.
I understand. And then the thing is like
What is frame data frame one of a DP? Come on.
do you want to know what frame data is?
I mean, it's a very useful like tool, and
Yeah.
like it's a feature in every game.
I mean,
And
it's not
honestly,
frame
in
data.
retroactively, like back then, people would just laugh about it and be like, "Dude, you're trying too hard at this game." It's like, no, you gotta try hard in this game. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, frame data isn't like a mechanic per se. It's more of a because it needs to be a thing. Frame data is the actual time it takes and essentially the bookmarks that it takes for a move to come out.
Right.
So I'm actually gonna go to Kuragane Hammer right now. This will probably be the easiest way for me to explain.
Because I imagine if you know a move and you've seen it five
Yeah,
million times
you know in your head how
on
fast it
a
goes.
muscle reaction, you can simply pick and choose a move from your character to stuff that shit out so hard,
Hmm.
or you can punish or whiff punish. Because in Street Fighter 5, when you hit a character, the move is there. However, the numbers are there, but the numbers aren't there when you whiff a fucking move because it just goes down too fast. I can't read that.
Hmm.
If it whiffs, and you got to know what the frames are after that so you can understand and like record that situation and like what your options are when someone, whiffs out like a standing hard kick. Because I do that. I whiff out standing hard kick because I don't know how the fuck the frames are. I just know that it's +3
Hmm.
or +4 because it's a really good move.
Yeah. So
But if
yeah.
I whiff it and Sebastian hits me a little bit after that, he gotta know like what's when it's active or when it completely whiffs.
Yeah. So essentially, it's like frame data is essentially when you're like, okay, uh, move comes out. The whole
Yeah.
move we'll say is 20 frames. So when you take frame data is how much time it takes in frames per second for something to come out.
Yeah.
So and you know how FPS work or frames per second works, right?
Right.
And most fighting games are generally in between 60 frames or they're in for 30 frames. I think
Yeah.
is it always 60 frames? Well, it can't always be 60
I don't
frames.
know.
But so say you have a 20 frame move. So you need to know from when startup to when the actual hitbox is active. So we'll say that from frame one, it takes 5 frames for the hitbox to be active, and then you have to know which is your first active frame or FAF, and then there is the time that it takes, which will be the other 15 frames for you to be able to input another move. That is essentially like,
That's the
uh,
link.
yeah, that's it's an example of frame data that'll make it
Yeah.
easier to understand.
Yeah.
Because I can't, unless I look it up, I can't give you a specific definition of frame data. I can only give you like an example.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine because it's what it's used for.
Yeah. So yeah, like if you're like me who likes to essentially frame trap people or have them put out a move that's slow or not really slow, but just have them put out a move, but you can put out a faster move than them or a move that's faster than them. Knowing frames, I like to know frames.
It helps you recognize your character's tools and when to use them,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like if you know that there's a lot of cooldown frames on like your hard punch or something, you're like, okay, well, or there's end lag, is what it is on. Well, like I said, your hard punch. Then you gotta know, you know, or you gotta know like, oh, I don't want to use it here, or oh, this is a really bad option, or I could
Mm,
use this, but I know that the other character has an option that has, well, better frame data than mine.
right. And you can use it in a myriad of ways. Like one way of doing it is like if I were to take the podcast name for an example of
Timer
timer scam,
scam. Yeah.
you could definitely find information on blockstun and fucking blockstun the shit out of your opponent until the timer runs out. So
True. Kinda.
you can play more of a offensive way if
Yeah.
you know it that way.
Mm, I could see it if you're like super hardcore into frame data, but
Yeah, something like that.
yeah.
But it just gives you a lot of more options, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Kind of, sort of. Well, I think that's enough for today. We've got
Mhm.
a nice amount of time here for the first time in like a month
A
and
month.
so, a month and some change. Uh Hopefully the sound is pretty is well. It's not gonna be like nice, as it would be if we're sitting there recording on our high quality microphones.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, my setup is like my mic is like my desk and shit is all in this corner, so it's almost like a cave.
yeah,
So my mic's in there, so even if like I sneeze or don't say anything, you can still pick it up.
yeah. And I'm in my enclosed room now rather than my open living room. So
Yeah. It has its benefits.
yeah, but I'd like to have some soundproofing so that I
Yeah.
don't hear every little thing that goes on in this room. But yeah, thank you for listening. Check us out on social media at TimerScamCast on Twitter, or us individually. I am the Cursive Shark on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. And Josh,
I don't have a social media,
you
so
have Twitter.
I don't use my tech.
Sucks. At J
Uh,
Tamayo J underscore
right.
Tamayo 24.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one. Shoot any
forgot about that.
questions. Shoot any questions or anything our way.
We are not fighting game gurus. We just overanalyze a lot of fighting
Yeah, we're
games.
just talking about what we know and the information that we have. So hey, it's not gonna be the best quality, but we have fun
I
talking
know as
about it.
much as you do, essentially.
Oh, believe me, I know a little bit more than you,
Oh, yeah.
because I'm more of a technical person when it comes to my fighting games. But yeah,
That'll be the topic for next time. The type of player you are.
kind of player. Okay, yeah. I can see that. But yeah, check us out: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, whatever you
Yeah,
want,
shout
dude.
outs to the people who are listening in Spotify because we've been trying to get Spotify on there for a bit.
Oh yeah, that was well. Actually, no. I feel like yeah, it's just been a long time since we even did it.
Yeah.
Um, Probably won't be streaming them on Twitch anymore. I'll probably just do them on YouTube rather than Twitch. But it'll probably still be there, so come check it out. And be safe. Have yourself a good one.